And I want to bring in CBS News security analyst and CEO of Violas Group International, Paul Violas. He joins us now. Paul, the manhunt is now across 5 states, and law enforcement is urging residents to be on high alert. How do you anticipate the FBI will work with local law enforcement across all these different jurisdictions?
You know what, Tony, that's probably the most poignant question of all that we've heard so far. The thing that viewers need to understand is that there's going to be an extensive amount of collaboration going on between the city of Cleveland, the state of Ohio, and the FBI. And what will happen is the moment that this individual is identified, Cleveland PD went ahead and had an arrest warrant issued. When that happened, it was entered into something called the LEAD system, or Law Enforcement Agency Data System. What that does is that it enables any police officer that has contact with this suspect anywhere in America to not only have information germane to that arrest warrant, but any other notes that department has entered into that. So it significantly enhances law enforcement's ability to notify each other, to identify this individual, and with the help that, media channels like CBS here that's doing that, posting this guy's face, people will recognize this, they'll call into law enforcement, and that's going to seriously accelerate and expedite his arrest.
Now, I wonder, as law enforcement and as citizens look for this individual, is there anything in particular that might be helpful in tracking him down? I find it interesting, actually, that the Facebook page, which might have been a place where you could get clues as to where he's going or what he's doing, that's been taken down. So in the absence of a social media breadcrumb trail, how do we catch up with this guy?
Well, again, good question. And the reason why is because a lot of people think that law enforcement has unlimited access, when in fact, law enforcement does not. If law enforcement doesn't have the specific user information, they can't access that. And if the suspect's settings were solely private, it makes it even more difficult. It also limits the people that would have access to everything that he did and said. So the fact that it went on social media, it's not that helped law enforcement significantly as they move their efforts forward. However, that being said, now forensically, as this investigation continues, they've already gone back and they will continue using both FBI lab and city lab, use the information that's been garnered and communicated via social media, and be able to then extrapolate a plan as to who he meets with, who he speaks with, where he goes, who he communicates with, and then to start narrow down that scope as to what the probability is with respect to where he's going to go next.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about this boast he made, claiming that he killed 13 people and intended to keep on killing.
Right.
There's no evidence yet that he has in fact killed 13, but should police or will police be taking that kind of claim seriously?
You know what, Tony, you have to take it seriously, because what we saw was not, now clearly it's an extension of a domestic violence case that's gone horribly bad. But what we saw was not just a shooting, Tony. We saw a public execution. This poor gentleman left his children's house, celebrated Easter, and was intentionally executed on the street. If an individual is willing to do that while blaming a woman for his actions, police have to take seriously anything that he said, even though there's no indication of it thus far. Rest assured, between FBI, city and state officials, they are scouring information from law enforcement in that entire area, geographic area, on missing persons and any complaints that have come in about anything that would render them in a better place to identify and validate his claims.
Yeah. Now, this is a borderline silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because this is not the first time that we've seen violence streamed on Facebook or posted to Facebook. From a law enforcement perspective, is there a way in which Facebook, because of the publicity it provides to average individuals, is encouraging or promoting or providing an outlet for people who have this kind of need to express violence in this particular way?
No, I don't think so. But and again, I am not a social media fan, but in defense of Facebook, they are really cooperative with law enforcement, and they have been in this case as well. I don't think that they are doing anything that would aid or abet, but by the same token, by the sheer nature, Tony, of social media with respect to instantaneous access, this clearly facilitates, and you can't foresee this because it's part of the criminal mind and the mens rea of this shooter, it clearly facilitates the ability for someone to broadcast not just their intentions, but their actions in real time.
Yeah, and apparently quite a disturbed individual. One imagines he would have found a way to commit an act like this any other way if Facebook didn't exist. He was on a particular kind of mission, and it was going to get done. Paul Violas, CBS News security analyst and CEO of Violas Group International, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Tony. Thank you.